Gojo, Goku, Naruto. These are all characters with powerful superpowers that we all have come to love. Sometimes a bit too much. But even for main characters that don't have any superpowers, by at least midway through the anime they are at least as strong as the ones who do. And what this basically means is that there is no love, no recognition for the ones who have lame or weak superpowers. So in this video we're going to be talking about the worst, the most useless superpowers that I've seen in anime. Dark and Dark. From the anime When Supernatural Battles Become Commonplace is the main character Julai Andor, and he's what you can call a chubinyo, which basically means he's an edgy teen. And his power Dark and Dark is able to produce a black flame from his right hand, a black blaze known as darkness itself. I mean, which is pretty cool. I mean, he can't. But still, producing a black fire can be still pretty useful in battle. I mean, look at examples in other anime. But of course, it's in this video, so there is a downside, which is that he cannot throw the fire, making it impossible to be used as a ranged attack, which is how you see most fire users attack in anime. And if that wasn't bad enough, I should add that the fire that he produces isn't even hot. It is in fact lukewarm. His whole power is producing a lukewarm flame in his right hand. And just for comparison's sake, in this anime, other people have the ability to stop time, the ability to undo anything, the ability to create anything, even control over 5 different elements, which includes fire, making him effectively useless. But not completely, because luckily being a main character, he does get an upgraded version of this ability called Dark and Dark of the End, which is slightly better. The black flame now engulfs his entire arm instead, causing him incredible pain. But this is not a complete negative, because knowing what he's like in the anime, he's probably into that pain. Also, with his new upgraded form, that fire is also hot. But not only is it hot, it is an eternal flame, meaning like the Amaterasu from Naruto, that it is a black flame that burns forever, being unable to be extinguished by anything in the world. And this sounds really good, but unfortunately this power is unable to be thrown and it only stays on his right arm. And hey, that isn't even the worst part about this ability. If you've been thinking deeply about this power, you may wonder to yourself, well, how do you extinguish this eternal black flame? I mean, this isn't Naruto, you can't just turn it off. Well, for having this amazing power, the only way to turn it off is by cutting off your arm and sealing it. Well, to be fair, he had someone who could restore his hand, but I mean, this power is almost useless, and with the amount of pain and sacrifice that you have to endure to even use it, just ain't worth it. Now I say this power is almost useless. Almost. Because there is one good use for it in the anime where someone stole his horrendous superpower and tried to use it herself. And it goes as well as you think for anyone who's a user of this superpower. To be honest, his powers feel like they were granted by a maliciously complying genie with full intention to screw you over. And he definitely got screwed over, because this is one of the worst superpowers that I've seen in anime, even with his upgraded version, and personally, I'd rather have none. But moving on to something a lot less harsh and edgy, Thermal Hand. Thermal Hand, coming from Yuihara from a certain magical index. Yuihara is a level 1 Esper who lives in a world where it ranks Espers from level 0 to 5. Where at level 0 it means you have no discernible Esper ability, which coincidentally is the level that the main character of the show is at. But of course he is one of the most powerful characters in the anime. But level 1 Espers have a weak but measurable ability, and the ability Thermal Hand keeps whatever object she possesses at the same temperature. Now to do this, she must be aware of herself being in contact with the object. Also, she cannot use her ability on anything larger than a basketball. Overall, this ability doesn't really stand out much in the world because of other abilities that are way too strong and overpowers hers, but in reality, it is still an ability that can shake the fundamentals of thermodynamics. But unfortunately, there is another limitation where the item she is using her ability on cannot either be too hot or too cold, which makes me throw out all the ways that she could be useful right into the bin. So it seems that the ability Thermal Hand can really only be used as a replacement for a thermos, stove, or cooler. And not a really good one, because being in contact with a water bottle that was taken straight out of the freezer doesn't really feel good. Or to be exact, you wouldn't feel it at all because your hand would be numb. So maybe just keeping moderately cold water still cold is the limit of her powers. But if you really push your imagination to the limits, there are still some niche things that she could do, such as overclocking your PC to insane lengths, but overall, not a really good power, especially in comparison to everyone else around her. Now, if she were born as a rank 4, rank 5 Esper, I believe her powers could be a lot more useful, because she'd be able to lower the temperature of an object to absolute zero, raise the temperature to the surface of the sun. I mean, it would be very useful, but unfortunately, it is limited by just being a simple level 1 Esper, meaning that she is one of the most useless superpowers in anime. But at least she can always sleep on the cold side of a pillow when she's trying to get to sleep. So maybe not that bad. Lover of Glasses. A power used by Ai Molly, a classmate of the main character in Law of Ueki. She has long-sightedness but can often be seen wearing reading glasses over her forehead. But even though she may look ordinary in comparison to others, she is one of the most interesting superpowers in my opinion, although it's pretty useless. She has the power of turning her opponent into a lover of glasses. And I mean really in love. Apart from becoming cultured, one of the biggest positives of this power is that when an opponent becomes a lover of glasses, she is able to use her glasses, or really any glasses, as a hostage to force the opponent into submission. And this power is super strong because it is very hard to disobey when their love of glasses is so strong. But it's in this video for a reason, so you're probably asking what is the downside? Well, in order to use a power, Molly's opponent must perform a cutesy buliko pose, and this is a pose where you have to raise your right leg backwards whilst putting both your fists close to your mouth. A common pose I'm sure most girls do on a daily basis, hardly a limitation, probably. But it is agreed upon by other characters in the anime that this power could be one of the most powerful superpowers in the anime if it wasn't due to this limitation. And honestly, this limitation is way too restraining, effectively making this power useless. But it could be used on certain populations, such as maid cafes in Akihabara, those cutesy Twitch streamers, and femboys. If you really pick your time and place, I think this superpower could be the most useful in the video, despite it effectively being useless. But did you think these superpowers in the video had any real use? Leave a comment if you could think of any other uses of these superpowers, because I was really struggling to find any use out of these useless powers. Also, like and subscribe for more videos because it really helps out and I like seeing big number go up by